Hello guys, so today we're going to be talking about a new video on NumPy, one of the most famous package in Python. So anyway, to get NumPy, we just got to import it. Import NumPy as NP. NP is its abbreviation for usual. Anyway, so now, NumPys can be used to create arrays, usually. So anyway, so let's create an array with NumPy. Now, NumPy arrays are similar to creating a bunch of lists. But lists take a lot of time and they're also slower. So it's better to use NumPy. So to create an array, we just do np.array. I'm using np because that's an abbreviation now. np.array. And to create a one-dimension array, you just put in a list in it. And then it just prints that list as one dimension. Now, what if you want to create a two-dimension list? Then you just got to, if you want to create a two-dimensional list, then you don't just simply put in another one, because then it'll just say data type is not understood. Now, to create a two-dimensional one, you got to put in an extra layer of brackets around the whole thing. And then you get the array of a two-dimension. And within that, you can add how many lists you want without having to add a new bracket. Let's say 654. 3 to 4. Now, one more extra thing about NumPy that lists don't have. Let's say we created a list. Let's say ML for my list. 1, 2, 3. And also let's say my list 2 equal to, now let's say my list 2, which is equal to, let's say, maybe 9, 8, 7. Now, what if you want to add these thingies stack-wise? Let's say, so you want to add these vertical-wise. But if you add ML plus ML2, then for some reason it just doesn't work. Yeah, and then it just doesn't work. Because then it'll just combine the list. Now, this is what NumPy can do. So give the job to NumPy, not lists, okay? So instead, let's say, so now I'll just store this in a variable as A, that's his array. And now let's do A2 equal to, okay, let's just put this A1. And A2 equal to np.array. Now let's just clear out some stuff, because we don't need all this. Anyway, so now let's just create another two-dimensional array and say 2, 1, 0. And now, -2, -3, and -4. Now if we add A2 plus A1, then it just combines them. Get it? Okay, yeah. So then it just, oopsie. Yeah, so then it just combines them. Okay, so I know this seems confusing. You want it to be like one array. Okay, so it might be a little bit confusing to you. But don't get confused. It's because this is a two-dimension array. Now, what if you just want to add two things normally? You just take away that two dimension into one dimension. And now you just get back the sums. Yeah, so leave NumPy for that job, okay? Not lists. Even though NumPy includes lists, but list but all by itself is not matching for NumPy. Okay, so now that you learned this, what if you want to like create a repeated an array that includes the same number in everything? Like let's say, then we can use the np.full function. And within that, we can just pass in the 6. Then we just pass in the amount of rows and columns, x or y, x, y. And then we put in what number we want. You see, they printed out a 6 by 6 array of 10s. So put it like this in your head. np.full x, y, num. Okay, so now let's say you want to multiply something. Like let's say a equals, a equal to np.array. And now let's just say that you created a one-dimensional list that says 1, 2, 3, 4. And now let's just multiply it by 6. Now, if we print out a, then it doesn't exactly get what you want, since this is inside the parenthesis. But if you reassign this and put this to times 6, then it just prints out the 1 times 6, the 2 times 6, the 3 times 6, the 4 times 6. Now, I know this can also be useful in making like better than 4 loops. I know, guys, it seems crazy. Why am I saying this is better than 4 loops? But what I mean is, this is pretty much like 6 table till 6 times 4. But we can create even more than 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, we don't have to create all these numbers though. Instead, you can just say range 1, 20. And then you get all the thingies. You have to put in 1, 21. And then you get the whole 6 table, instead of having to do a whole for loop. I know, guys, NumPy is even more useful than for loops. Really. You can even save this thing easily. Since this is not a statement, you can save it even easier than such a complex thingy than saving it in a for loop. And now we can just say this like, instead of a function, let's say 6. Oh yeah, sorry. 6 times table equal to, yeah. And now if you just print out that thing, then we get back this whole array again. I know, guys, NumPy is so useful. Yep, it definitely is. Yep, it is definitely useful. Now, what if we want to pretty much like, now let's just say, okay, so guys, so now, if we well, you may create like a whole table, but you don't really have to do that with NumPy, because that's a little bit more complex actually. So now, how do you create a 3-dimensional array with the full thing? Now, to do that, all we have to do is just say np.full, and now let's just given the values. And remember to put them in a list. Oh yeah, not like this. Yeah, you just put in 3 values, and then you just put it. Okay, so what is this thingy doing? Okay, wait just a second. 3, 6. Okay, so what is this thing doing? It just printed out 3 arrays. Okay, so to create a 3-dimensional array, you gotta put in 3 numbers in a list, comma 10 in the full function. Now, the first number, it takes the amount of arrays to create a 3-dimension array. Now, the second value is it's the second value is like the x value, and the 5 is like the y value. So remember it like this: np.full, and now you put in amt. I'm just gonna put amt for short of amount, x, y, and then you put in comma num. So that's how I remember it. Okay, so now let's just say that you want to stack the arrays. Like, let's say let's say you want to stack A1 and A2. Now, that's actually easy. So first of all, there are these 3 functions in NumPy. They're called vstack for vertical stack, hstack for horizontal stack, and column stack for column stack. Okay, so let's say pretty much hstack for now. Hstack, and now it's just combine A1 plus A2. Okay, I don't know why, but I mean np dot hstack, and then it just okay. So then it just combines it. Really? Yeah, I don't mean A1 plus A2. I mean A1 comma A2. Okay, and remember, you gotta put it as a list. Okay, so this thing combines it horizontally. But now let's say vstack, and just combines it vertically, just like a normal 2 adding lists. Now, what is column stack? Now it just combines it column-wise. See that? Now it just matches up the zero index, the first index, and the second index value for the A1 and A2. Okay. So yeah. So that's pretty much about NumPy for today. So bye-bye guys. See you next time.